Hey there, this is John over at Odd Job Johnny, and today we're going to tackle rust repair on a car. There I have it, it's marked right there. Let's do a little zoom in. That's our rust spot on my trusty beast here. And you might look at that and say, oh my god, I got to take that to the body shop. No, you don't have to take that to the body shop, because I'm going to show you with some simple at-home tools what you can do for a little bit of rust repair. So join me on this adventure of rust repair on your vehicle. Okay, so first thing we have to do is we gotta sand this baby down. I'm gonna use my Dremel because it's faster, but you can use sandpaper. I start with 80 grit. So this is 80 grit on here, and then we're gonna run the Dremel here. So let's do that. As you can see, one Dremel, sandpaper on a barrel sander, and on my little Dremel. I'm going to continue sanding this, and then we'll be right back when it's all smooth. So here's our spot that was all rusty, and as you can see here we have a little bit of pitting, and here we have a little bit of pitting also, and I went a little further because the rust went back kind of a little bit back farther under the paint. I'll zoom in here a little bit so we can show right there. There it is. All right, and then the next step what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of spot putty in there, and then we'll primer it. The next step we're gonna do is fill in this little pitted area, and I mean it's slightly pitted, but if you paint this, this will come out real great. This will come out great here and blend here and here, but because there's a little bit of pitting, not so much there. This will be filled because I use primer that's like a filler primer, so it'll fill little pinholes. But this is a little bit more than a pinhole, and this is actually sanded. So what I use is right here, this is called Evercoat Spot Putty, and I use a squeegee. A lot of people like to use a thinner Bondo type yellow squeegee or scraper or whatever. So I just take that much, if you can see it on there, and I just want to squeeze it in there just like that. Yeah, that's perfect. There, that's perfect. You don't want to sand too much. Just like drywalling, you want to put it on thin, and you just want to cover, just barely cover that little tiny bit of yeah, I call it corrosion, but it's where it ate away at the metal. So then you got to let that flash or dry, as they call it, flash when you're painting. And then after you let that dry, you're going to want to sand it, and we'll get to that, and we'll do that with regular sandpaper. Okay, so here we have our repair right here, and this is like 12 hours later. I let this glazing putty dry, so now I'm going to use 80 grit sandpaper, which is fairly aggressive, and lightly sand this area. And I make sure it's all level, so you got to sand till it's all kind of blended, which is pretty easy. You can feel high spots and ridges with your finger. That's pretty smooth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very much lighter grit sandpaper. That was 80 grit, so I'm just going to use like a lighter grit here. This is just a smoother grit. This is just 600. You can use different, you can get different sandpapers and different grits. You can get an assorted pack actually from like Canadian Tire or whatever. So there we go, it's all smooth. Next we're gonna wipe that and prep it for some paint. Okay, so that's it for the first part of this repair. Join me in the next video as we do primering, painting, and the finishing steps of this rust repair on your vehicle.